Yo, what is up, my fellow mercenaries? Merc with the Game Boy here, and I say this all the time, but it has been a fucking while. Currently my last semester of my degree, so things should be picking back up once I'm all done with school and all of that. So really excited for that on the horizon. It's real close, May now. Then I'm gonna start getting my full-time job, and then hopefully going back to getting a normal weekly content schedule. I want to go kind of back to what I did in high school, because even though those videos weren't quality, it was one of those things where I was consistently growing as a creator because I was posting more frequently. Now this whole thing where I go 3 to 6 months without posting, it just doesn't work for growth with the algorithm and all of that. So I'd really like to go ahead and build upon that going forward, but nonetheless, you're not here for all of that. This isn't like a channel update or anything like that. No, instead what we're here to talk about today is something I'm sure all of you have heard about already, and that is Pokemon Legends Arceus. So, Sun and Moon, it was one of those things, I enjoyed it, it was okay, and then Sword and Shield were just one of those where I played through the game and then finished the main story and just never really touched it again. Competitive was fun for a little bit, but it got old really quick, and I feel like the franchise was just a spot for a lot of people where it needed something to go ahead and breathe some life into it, and oh my god, if you are a fan of Pokemon and you've been kind of jaded since Generation 5, this is the game that you're gonna enjoy. I feel like I could do so much with this game alone as far as content goes. It actually has me kind of excited for it. So I started playing this game a couple days ago, and some of my initial impressions are just it is a really good, solid game. It takes a lot of inspiration from Breath of the Wild, no surprise there. If you've seen any of the promotional or marketing material for it, it screams that it's the same vein as a Breath of the Wild. And I feel like that's where a lot of this game's strengths lies, in the fact that it caters itself to the single player experience, since there isn't a multiplayer to have to contend with or balance. So it gives a real nice gameplay loop for that single player, which for the longest time I feel like Pokemon's been lacking in. And, it's just one of those things, I feel like this is the game that we all expected when we were kids. The first time I picked up Pokemon Coliseum or Pokemon XD Gale of Darkness, this is what I expected out of the game. This is what I always wanted console Pokemon to be, and it's, finally here. And, don't get me wrong, there's definitely areas in it that can improve, for one, the graphics, obviously it's not going to blow anybody away in that aspect, but with what the game's working with, it's really fucking good. I'm about 3 or 4 hours in now, and, it just keeps getting better. I haven't, lost interest or anything, where a lot of times with some of the more modern games, it kind of feels like you're just going through the motions to get to the end. With this, I haven't really experienced that. It's been a real good time so far. As far as, going ahead and expanding on the ideas that have been implemented in previous games, one thing I really like is the way that the whole, wilderness, I guess, would be set up. It kind of takes the whole idea that they implemented in Sword and Shield with the wild area and ramps it up to 10, creates an actual believable world where it's not just I don't know, I feel like in Sword and Shield it kind of felt almost like a camp or a Poke Park kind of thing. It felt very disconnected from the rest of the world, which this one it really doesn't. You feel like you're actually out in the fucking wild, and then you have to go back to the settlement and all that to make sure that everything's all good, make sure you have your supplies, because if you go ill prepared, you're gonna go ahead and be attacked by an alpha Pokemon or something, or even some of the smaller ones, they could still give you hell. Particularly Paris, that one, he just constantly is attacking me left and right. As far as the battle system itself goes, they did keep more of a traditional system, but at the same time they did give you options with it. I really like you can forego battling altogether, and you can, if you're stealthy enough, you can go ahead and sneak up on things to catch them, so that you don't have to worry about the whole battling aspect of it if that's not how you want to play. And I've always enjoyed that with games like this. It's why one of my favorite series of all time is the Mega Man series, just because it does give that player choice to go ahead and complete the game the way that you want to, rather than a linear path for how the game wants to set it out for you. And I feel like that is a strong point here, because it does give that player that agency to go ahead and choose, which is the big reason why Breath of the Wild was as big as it was, because it gave the player so much freedom to kind of do what they wanted. But overall, I'm just having a blast with this game. I think it might be my favorite Pokemon game of all time. I guess we'll see as I go through the rest of the game, but I'm definitely planning on doing a full review of the game eventually, as well as potentially doing a full retrospective series. I do have a couple ideas as far as that goes, just showing how we got from Generation 1 to now. I feel like I could do a pretty decent retrospective series on that. I've kind of fallen down the rabbit hole of retrospectives lately, and I just kind of want to try my hand at something like that, so that may be a project you guys see from me going forward. I'd have to decide if I'd want to do one really long episode, or if I want to break it into region by region, generation generation by generation, something like that. If you do have ideas for that, like how I could structure that, go ahead and leave them in the comments and I'll take a look at that. But yeah, that's gonna about do it for me today, guys. Just know I'm having a blast with the game. You're gonna be hearing more about this game going forward from me, and then we're gonna kind of take this to the next level. Like I said, content's still gonna be slow over the next couple months. I appreciate y'all that are sticking with me. Don't blame the people that are walking though, but nonetheless, we're really kicking it into overdrive this year, boys. As soon as I hit graduation, like, I want to hit the ground running as far as content goes. I'll have a lot more free time on the weekends and all of that, so I definitely want to go ahead and get to a weekly content schedule so that I can go ahead and be the best that I can be as far as content creation goes. So if you guys have any suggestions for ideas or videos, go ahead and drop those in the comment section down below. Make sure you hit the video with a like and subscribe. You know, it always helps with the algorithm. But yeah, have yourselves a damn good one, guys.